Stephen, a couple of days to reflect on the game at the weekend. How are you feeling about it now you look back on it?
Yeah, it was a long weekend. You know, I take defeats hard, so contrary to what people think at times. You know, it was a long weekend, a little bit of soul searching in terms of, did we do things right? Did we do things right over the break? You know, and you know, ultimately we looked second best on Saturday because we looked like it was the first pre-season game. You know, if I'm being honest, it looked like our first pre-season game. You know, in our pre-season we have 3.5, 4 weeks off. It was a similar break, and they looked like they were first to every ball. So you know, forget what system you play, what players you put in the pitch. They were first to every ball, and they deserved to win the game. So you know, did I get the team selection right? I evaluate myself after every game. I'm my biggest critic, and perhaps not. You know, in hindsight, it might have been better to bring Ross McCormick on from the bench, where he might have had more of an influence when the game settled down a little bit. But catch-22, you need game time, and you know, we want a quality player like that fit as quick as we can. I needed somebody up front that could get hold of the ball, not necessarily be, you know, a 6-foot target man. It's somebody that brings people into play, gets our wide players on the ball more often, and you know, you build from there, as well as trying to be a little bit more composed on the ball from the back. But you know, it was, you know, I hold my hands up, that wasn't quite right. Yeah, it's one game, you know, and it's a costly game for us. But I'm confident that, you know, we'll come back, we'll be better for that game, we'll be sharper. You know, we've learned lessons as a staff from it as well, and it's something that we'll learn from. You said right from the word go that Ross would only be getting 45 minutes, so I guess that's something to look at going forward, that he got those minutes under his belt. And how's he feeling, and how are other boys feeling going into this game on Wednesday? Yeah, I mean, injury wise Ross is fine. Sharpness wise he's not quite there yet. We know that when you've been out a long time, actually your strength goes a little bit, so we need to get him minutes on the pitch, you know, whether that's from the bench to start with. Ultimately, that's probably what I should have done on Saturday. The other boys, listen, we were disappointed. We're very disappointed. You know, we felt that we were a yard behind. We felt that they were first to things. We didn't win second balls. You know, as I say, forget systems, forget shape, forget whatever team you pick. If you don't do the basics right, and we didn't do that, and I think everybody holds their hands up and says we didn't. So we have to get back to that, do the basics well, and then worry about the rest of it after that. You know, and we're very determined to do that on Wednesday night. Football's a strange game. You know, 1 minute you're the worst in the world, the next minute it can turn around, and I've said that to the players. We have to take the criticism that came our way. We need to be brave and stand up and maybe agree with a little bit of it at times, and then come out fighting. And that's what we'll do Wednesday night. We'll come out, well, you know, we'll hopefully put a performance on that leads to a result. Is it a strange one, Stephen, in the sense that I think you've seen some of the benefits of the break and what it can do in terms of getting fitness back, but then maybe in terms of getting going again, it's hard to maybe just smooth right back on into things? Listen, I'm an advocate of the break, and you know, most definitely I think it's a really good thing for football. It does give people a chance. You know, maybe not having the Scottish Cup the first game might be someone that's looked at, but certainly let me make that clear, that's not an excuse. You know, we deserve to get beat. You know, would we have got beat if we hadn't had a break? I don't know. You know, I haven't got a crystal ball, but I know we weren't sharp enough. We trained hard, we, you know, worked very hard, so I question myself, did we work too hard? Did we do too little? Did we have too many days off? Did we have not enough days off? So, you know, I always try to evaluate that. In terms of the break itself, I think it's a good thing for football. You know, I do. Yeah, I think all the Premiership teams that played, actually I spoke to a few managers, they all felt the same. They all thought they weren't at their best. They thought they did lack a yard. Last year we played Aki, so it was probably a level playing field. You know, and Ross County, make no mistake, they deserve to win. So we look at that. We can't change that outcome now. What we have to do is look to make sure we change the performance and the result Wednesday and Saturday. Yeah, I guess you're right. You can't really look back on things too much in ifs and buts, because now that football is back, it's right back, isn't it? A game Wednesday, a game Saturday. It's a quick turnaround. And how are the boys feeling going into what's going to be a busy week? Yeah, as I said, they were disappointed with the result. You haven't got too much time to feel sorry for yourself, otherwise it carries on to the next game. So we've come in, you know, we've had a good training session yesterday, a real positive attitude to the boys. They're the first, they're conscientious boys. They're the first to admit they didn't perform, they didn't, you know, they hold their hands up. So, you know, we'll put a team out. I hold my hands up when I maybe didn't get the team selection quite spot on, and the right combination of attacking players and flair players with that wee bit of steel and grit in there as well, that you need to get them on the ball. So we all hold our hands up, but you come out fighting again. You know, there's nobody laying down, there's nobody going feeling sorry for themselves. We asked the fans to get behind us. You know, they didn't overly criticise the boys on Saturday, and we deserved stick as well. So I asked them to get behind. Great game to come back into. Tough team again. You know, Hibs did a good result on Saturday, so they'll be flying. But we have to make sure we match them energy wise. We'll be better for the game, and we'll go and try and take the game to them.
Just on one final note, Stephen, any team news at all? Any injury updates that you can give us?
Yeah, Elliot Freer has taken a slight knock. Aaron Taylor-Sinclair won't be ready. Left back's a problem position for me. I played Charles Dunn there Saturday, but we all know it's not his best position. But we've still got Richard Tate can play there. Young Adam Livingston, we're hoping to develop a little bit quicker maybe than what he's doing at the moment. But we still have high hopes for him. So other than that, we're hoping Elliot maybe makes the game, but it'll be a late fitness test. And our long-term injuries obviously still stands.
Stephen, all the best for Wednesday night.
Okay, cheers, Lewis. Thank you.